Hey everyone, welcome back to Beekeeping with Natalie, or welcome to if you are new. Today we're going to be pulling some supers and our comb. We're going to take a look at it, see if they have drawn it out. It's super bright and sunny today, so can't really see very well, so I'm going to go ahead and put my veil on. Maybe it'll block out the sun a little bit. I also just got bee quick in my eye, which is the second time that's happened, so my eye's burning a little bit. Anyway, hopefully this will be a good day. Starting off not so great, but we're going to go ahead and film a video. I don't have a full plan on what we're doing in this video. I'm just going to kind of go along with it, see what happens. We're going to do a couple different things. We'll go ahead and check the supers, and then I'm also going to test some honey with my refractometer over here, which I'll show in a little bit. And I'll show you how we pull our supers, how we get the bees out of the super. I know there's so many different ways to do it. This is just how we do it. I try to say that in most of my videos just because my YouTube channel is about sharing how we beekeep, and just kind of, it's a great way for us to learn more. Also, I've learned so much the last few years off of YouTube, but I'm just doing it for fun, and so I'm not saying this is how to do it, this is just how we're doing it. But we'll go ahead and open this up. If you don't know about the comb, I have a video, like a full video on it, explaining a little bit more where we got the idea, where you can buy all this stuff to do your comb also. If you want to check out that video, I'll leave the link right in this corner over here. So we're in a pretty bad dearth right now, so bees probably won't be super happy. I'm starting off with a veil, but I do have a jacket for backup. Hey, that kind of rhymes. If it turns. But for now, I'm just going to stick with this and we'll see how it goes. But since we're in a dearth, we're pulling all of our honey because we won't get a flow until fall time, and it'll be goldenrod. I posted a video a little while ago about it. And we have soybean, but they haven't really been on it a whole lot. Hopefully once that soybean starts to bloom, they'll be able to like draw out some comb, because we are putting another box on our single brood, which I have a video on also of like adding boxes and stuff. If you want to check that one out, I'll leave the link right here. It's basically just us adding boxes and then feeding, and why we're feeding so quickly, things like that. But basically, if the supers aren't completely full, we're pulling it anyway, because we're just pulling every single super in this yard and taking it off because we are going to feed, and we're going to get ready to feed them for the next couple days. I'll go ahead and pull out a frame here. I'm not surprised that it's not completely full. That's okay though. It's still a pretty good amount of honey. We've had a decent flow this year. It hasn't been as good as some of our other flows in the past, but it's not too bad. So this is a really nice frame. This is all dry capping, well, most of it is, so it looks really nice. So that's good. We'll go ahead and test this just to see what it's at. So I'm just going to lay it down here. And so what we're doing is we're testing the moisture content in the honey, because we want to make sure that it's thickened up, and because when they bring it into the hive, it's basically as thin as water, and they thin it out so they make it thicker, and we test it to make sure that it's ready to be harvested. And if it's not, we're still going to take it anyway, because we'll be able to put some box fans on top, and then we're going to dehumidify it, and it'll help to bring that number down. If you don't have one of these, you should definitely get one if you're a beekeeper and you want to test your honey. It helps out so much, and it's a really good way to figure out what your honey's at, because we've had honey that hasn't been capped but is ready, and then we've also had honey that's been capped but it's not ready. So we go ahead and just test it to make sure. We're probably not going to test all of these just because we're going to pull all of them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But let's go ahead. I just take my finger. I'm going to go over to this uncapped spot here. Some people can tell just by the thickness. I'm not that cool. I'm pretty cool, but just not that cool. So then there's this little spot that you look into to see what it's at. So this one's around 18.5. So it is definitely ready to be pulled. The good number to have is around 18 and lower. If it's like really low, if it's like 16 or something, it's going to be really, really thick and hard to extract. But it's still a good thing. A lot of times that'll happen if like you have it in the dehumidifier for a really long time, or sometimes you'll pull it off the hive and it's actually at that number. So anyway, we'll go ahead and pull this super. which I'll show you how we do in a little bit. But I'm gonna go down to this other box down here. This is the shallow that we have on, and this is where the comb is. So this honey is just gonna be bottled. We're gonna extract it and then put it in our bottles. But the honey in here is going to be cut into little pieces and we'll sell it with the comb. And this is our first year really trying this out. We've done it in the past, we just haven't gotten really serious with it. And we're not too serious with it this year, but we're definitely trying it out and doing a little bit harder this year. And so, again, if you really want to know more about where we got all this stuff, I'll leave that video in the corner link so you can check it out. Just trying to get my smoker going again. So I'll take this super off so we can get down here and see what it looks like. We have pulled some comb already and we did cut some comb. I'm gonna have a video on us cutting the comb and like the containers that we're using. And I'm really excited about it. It's been pretty fun actually. I've enjoyed doing the comb this year. I wasn't sure if I would, but it's not so it's not as difficult as I thought it would be. It's pretty easy for a good amount of money that you'll get back from it. And a lot of people like more comb than you think. So there's this super, it's pretty full. The 2 frames in the middle here aren't completely drawn out, but that's all right. So here's the thing with comb. They have to start from scratch pretty much. We give them a little bit of foundation that they can draw on, but they basically have to draw all of it out. I don't think I ended up posting a video on how we added the foundation to it. Did I? I don't think I did. It's pretty easy though. And there is, Gus Mitchell has a video on it. I'll definitely link his channel in the description so you can check it out because he's pretty big on comb honey and he has all the information you'll need. So that's where we've learned pretty much all of this. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and take some out. If it's not completely drawn out, we just won't end up using it. We can use it for other things for sure, but we want to make sure that it's also capped. It looks like it'll be kind of a 50-50. Looks like some of it's capped, some of it's not. It'd be really great if all of it was completely capped because then we could get a lot of comb out of just one frame, but that's all right. So this isn't fully capped and it looks like it's also a little dry. Since we are in a dearth, I don't expect it to be super full for them to keep filling it. So it's not super full, but that's all right. We'll go ahead and pull it anyways, just because there's nothing that they can do at this point until our fall flow. But we're not going to keep it on that long because we want to feed. And I did have a video a little while ago on feeding, and we're not feeding during a flow and we're not feeding with our supers on. So we're not getting any funny honey in the supers. I don't think we'll ever add supers again this year. We might be done. You totally could add supers during your fall flow, but we probably won't because we don't get much of a fall flow, and if we do, we want to make sure we give it back to the bees anyways. So we probably won't add supers. We might add to like a couple of them. But anyway, let's go ahead and put this one back on, and then I'm going to try and take the bees out of the super. We haven't found a really, really good way to get the bees out of the super. It's kind of, this is heavy. This bee's not happy with me. Yeah, bees aren't super happy. They're getting a little more testy now. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and get the bees out of the super. So like I said, we haven't found a really good way to get the bees out. Sometimes all of them get out and some of them don't. It's really difficult though. So sometimes it's good to use like an air, what was that called? Like a air compressor, thank you. An air compressor to like get the bees out, something like that. We haven't really found anything that works super great for us, but what we're using is a fume board right here. I lost it for a second. This is a homemade fume board, so it's not technically a fume board, but it works. So this is just some felt right here actually, and then this is just some like wood put together, I guess. So this is black. Hopefully it'll like help with the sun. I don't know. It's just kind of we put it together really quickly to see if it works, and it does work pretty well. You can also just use paper towels. You can get like 4 paper towels. You can put like 2 and then 2 and spray it with the Bee Quick. And it actually seems to work really well. That's what we started off with, and we used that for years. And then we started using the fume board. I do like the fume board because they're really easy and quick because you can just pull it off and add it to the next one. But I think the paper towels actually work a lot better than I think they do. I've been using those a little bit more just to make it a little bit quicker because we only have 2 of these. This is Bee Quick. It's in the spray bottle because the other spray bottle that we had of Bee Quick is falling apart. And so we only have a jug of Bee Quick and it just doesn't work. So we put it in this spray bottle instead. I just put it in here, so I don't know if it'll... So just spray it a little bit. And basically it smells like cherries, and the bees don't like the smell of cherries. So they will basically start getting out of the super so that there won't be as many bees in here. So now we pretty much wait and see how it goes. A lot of times we'll be checking another hive to see how they're looking with honey. I'm not sure. I know these back ones here have some comb on it, so we can check that while this one is still getting the bees out of the super. This one's got comb on it. You can tell because it's got a shallow here. I think all that, like these 4, actually, I thought we pulled some honey a while ago off of this yard. We got a pretty good amount, so we ended up not getting all of it though, just because it was really hot that day. So it looks like they are definitely up in here. There's a lot of bees. I don't know if they're filling it though. Let's see. Looks like they are capping it a little bit, maybe. Yeah, it looks like they're capping it a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and go straight down to the comb though. So I'll pull this super off. Hopefully it's not too heavy. This one's got a front entrance, so I don't know if that helped them out at all. It's not super heavy, but I remember there was one that they were filling really, really quick. It looks like it might have been this one actually. So they've got some honey up top here. Well, they did. Looks like it's dried out now. This one looks promising, so let's go ahead and look at this one. I really like these frames that we got. They're really nice. I don't know if we'll be able to reuse them. We've talked about it. I think it'll be kind of difficult to reuse them because you got to clean them. But that's another video. Let's pull this out. That looks nice. So this is the middle frame though, so I don't know what the outside frames look like. So the cutting is actually pretty fun. It's really, really easy. So I'm excited to do a video on that. We'll try and get that video out as soon as possible. So what we're gonna do is basically pull these shallows, and then we're gonna put them right into the freezer. So we're not gonna test it because we're not worried about that right now. We're just gonna go ahead and put it straight into the freezer until we're ready to cut it. And so let's go ahead and just take a look at these outside frames. I wanna see what it looks like. This one looks nice though, so that's good. I think some of them will be really good and some of them won't be as great as others, but that's okay. Yeah, so this looks great. We'll be able to get a lot of comb out of this one for sure. That looks really nice. So we'll go ahead and put this back, and then this one will be ready to, we'll be able to take this now. And I have another fume board that I'm going to use for this one. I could test this one, but I'm not sure if I will. I'll go ahead and put it right back on though, and then we'll take a look at that one over there to see if they're starting to get out of that super yet. All right, let's see how this one looks. This is kind of what we've been doing. It's not super interesting. We're just pulling honey and then extracting. I'm gonna get an extracting video out as soon as possible, because I know a lot of people want to see that. It hasn't changed a whole lot from last year. It has a little bit actually. We've got some new equipment that I'm excited to show. I've been using a lot lately, so we'll do a video on that. So it looks like they are kind of out of it, but like you can still see there's some bees in here. So I'm going to leave it on for a little longer. You don't want to like smoke them out because that can affect the honey. So we're not going to do that. We don't want to smoke it too much. But I think that's pretty much it. So that's kind of what we're doing. What we're going to do is take these off and basically put a lid down. We're going to put them on top of the lid and then put another lid on, because since we're in a dearth, they'll most likely want to rob it out, and we don't want to do that. So that's what we'll do with this, and then we will probably get them in the dehumidifier room so that we can put them in there for a little while until we're ready to extract them. Extract it, and then it'll be ready to go to be bottled. So that's pretty much it. I think that's all really for today's video. That's just a couple different things that we're doing, showing you how we take the bees out of the super, testing the honey, and how an update on the comb. I'm really excited about the comb, and I can't wait to get a video on that for cutting it. So thanks for watching. Follow along for more bee adventures, and be here next time on Beekeeping with Natalie.